Hey everybody, Ethan and Javier here. Today we're going to talk about some tips and rules you want to take into consideration when buying a home.
Yeah, so buying a home in today's market, it's not like how it was 10 years ago or even 3 years ago. There are new strategies that we're going to talk about to secure a home in today's market. Are you just entering into a buyer's market? Arm yourself with the latest advice from myself and Ethan about securing a home in today's market.
Okay, Javier, what's the first thing I should do when buying a house? Because what I really want to do is find the nicest house on Zillow and call my realtor right away and say this is the one.
Hold on. You're going too far. You're going too ahead of yourself. Guys, I know how we all think. I know the first thing we want to do is go to Zillow, go to realtor.com, go to Redfin. You see all these nice houses and you just want to get on top of that.
The nicest houses.
But that's not how things work now. The first thing you want to do is secure financing and not go after your dream home first. Because in years past, many home buyers found their homes, their dream homes, before they worry about securing financing. But in today's fast-paced market, the new rule is secure your financing first, because we want to know what we're working with. We want to know what's your budget. So the first thing you want to be is pre-approved before we go out there looking at homes.
And it's important too, because you're putting in a pre-approval letter when you're submitting offers and stuff, so you have to have that information handy, and you got to know what budget you can work with. And we work with several different lenders who can do different things and for people in different circumstances. So if you feel the need to reach out to us first, please don't hesitate to do so. We can send you in the right direction for financing.
Yeah, so now that we got our financing, let's talk about the budget.
So when you're looking at homes, you definitely want to look below your budget. After you get your pre-approval and you have a top line number that you don't want to spend more than, you shouldn't be looking at houses at that number. So say it's $500,000, you're not going to spend more than that. You shouldn't look at homes that are listed at $500,000. Because what you're going to do is you're going to have closing costs, you're going to have mortgage costs, you're going to have all kinds of inspections that you're going to want to do, and all that money adds up, and you're going to end up spending more than you would like to. And that's one of the number one complaints people have when buying a house, is that they're unhappy because they spent too much money. So I recommend looking at houses $30,000 to $50,000 less than your top budget number, so that you have more room to play with, and you can even submit a more competitive offer.
Yep.
Putting over list price. If it's at $450,000, you can go over, and then you might even have some money to play with. Yep. Once you move in, you have some cash to maybe paint it, make the house your own decorations, etc.
Yeah. Now speaking about putting in a over asking price, that's another thing that we would recommend. That's why we recommend look below budget, so that way you can put an overprice on that below budget and it can still meet your quota. And that's again, as I was saying, that's another rule we want to talk about. You want to go beyond the asking price, because you want to make your offer appeal to the seller. So you definitely want to put your best foot forward when you're putting in an offer. So definitely, this is where it kind of gets creative, because you got to get creative. Again, you got to think beyond the offer price in today's market. A good realtor will help you figure out what's important to the seller, so you can carefully craft a better offer.
Because it's not always just the list price, right?
Yep.
They're not always looking for the top dollar. The seller might need a month to stay at the house after they close, if they're building a new home, something like that, and you need a realtor to trust to negotiate that so it's in your favor and appeals to the seller.
You definitely want to kind of play in that sandbox a bit, because maybe the seller doesn't favor top dollar. Maybe they favor a better closing date for them. Like one example will be to accommodate, again, some of the seller's future plans, and that one of them can be an ideal closing date. Again, lean to your realtor, because this is where we kind of strategize. We conversate with the other realtor to kind of come into terms, and that way we can put a more appealing and better offer.
And it's really important when doing this. Another rule is going to be, go ahead and put your best offer forward. If you find a house and you think this is the one, I have to have this house, don't leave anything on the table. Whatever you think the home is worth, you should put forward, and again, contact your realtor and negotiate a creative way to submit that.
Definitely, because nowadays, if a home is well priced, it's gonna sell quickly. It's gonna get multiple offers, and it's gonna be hard to stand out. So again, go beyond the asking price if you can, and also try to accommodate some of the seller's future plans to make your offer appealing. And again, since we're in a fast-paced market, you definitely want to make that offer quick. Give or take, you want to probably take around 28 or 48 hours to think about it, because that's how quickly things are going here in the Carolina market. You definitely want to turn in that offer as quick as possible.
And you want to make sure, it's a sound decision. You are making a huge decision when buying a home. And so there are some areas in the greater Charlotte area, in the outskirts of Charlotte, that aren't selling, they're staying on market for a little bit longer. But here in the heart of Charlotte, we're seeing very quick turnaround. So you might want to sleep on it, take a day or two, maybe even 3 days, think about it, and then go ahead and submit your best offer.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to turn it in. At least if you don't get accepted, just know that you put your best foot forward.
Right. And you don't want to think what could have been.
What could have been. You just want to throw all your cards on the table. And again, now another rule we want to talk about is the realtor. Our realtor is detrimental in this.
It's maybe the most obvious rule.
The most obvious rule, of course, because we want to help, because we help with negotiations, and we also want to have the people.
We represent our clients, and so you aren't necessarily talking to the other side. You're probably never talking to the other side throughout the entire transaction. You might meet them at closing. Exactly. And so it's a realtor to realtor negotiation transaction through the whole process. And so really leaning and trusting on your realtor is the most important thing you can do. As we're going to negotiate, we're going to talk to the other side and see what we can do to get the deal done in our respective clients' favor.
Of course, because this is the thing, guys. A realtor is a reflection of yourself. Whatever the realtor does to represent you, that's how it's going to seem to the other side.
Right.
So it's definitely, you got to pick a realtor that you trust for sure, because besides the negotiation, besides knowing the community, besides being knowledgeable, how they come across is how the other side of the transaction is going to think that's how you are as a client. So definitely also be considerate on who you take on, not just the expertise, but also of how they interact with the other side of the transaction.
And finally, I would say one of the most important rules is, managing your expectations. You want to have realistic expectations throughout the entire home buying process, because buying a home in the housing market, as you know, Javier, it can be like a roller coaster. You can be really high at one point and then feel crushed and super unmotivated. So it's important to try and stay even keel. And by doing that, we ask, to kind of expect about 8 weeks when you're buying a home. The National Association of Realtors just came out with data that said that is about the average we see. And, you have to look for your house for a couple weeks. You have to get pre-approved. And once you're under contract, it's going to take, 30 to 45 days for the appraisal to come through. You're going to have a couple weeks of due diligence. And so that's about, 4 to 6 weeks in itself. So it might take about 8 weeks. Go ahead and just expect that.
And that's just what's expected, but it can take longer, guys. Like maybe a due diligence or inspection. Inspection is definitely where things comes up and things can drag a little longer. So I would definitely, I think 8 is a minimum, but if you guys can take longer, I would, because you never know with this market or with this job field, things can just happen out of nowhere like that. And
especially if you're new to the area,
it's new,
and you want to get a good feel of where you want to live, what schools you want to be nearby, just kind of if you like the area or not, you want to test and show different areas. So it can be a long process.
Or unless you win the lottery ticket, then that way cash offer, in and out, guys.
Right, you get to pick whatever you want.
But I know seriousness. But again, definitely, if you guys, I will take longer, because 8 is minimum. That's if everything goes smoothly. Right. But in this job field, things can just happen again out of nowhere, and you definitely want to accommodate time for that.
So that's kind of our rules and tips we have for you. I hope you took something away, and I hope if you guys have any questions, feel free to email or call us. We're really excited about this Charlotte market and the way it's heading. So if you have any questions, please let us know, or check out our other videos to learn some more.
Yes, learn some more of our strategies from our videos, or stay tuned for our other strategies coming in the future. With that being said, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for next week for our next video. And now, have a great day, guys.